I was instructed to eat as much of this stuff as possible to keep the women in the office here from getting any fatter. I'd probably gain a lot myself eating all this stuff. These are gifts from vendors, various holiday candies and nuts. These Lowry homemade candies are the bomb. Various wrapped holiday cookies back there. Chocolate covered peanuts are perfecto from Glover Construction. And this is interesting, I may try later. Some caramel pecan coffee from Wolferman's Bakery. Comment if you've tried that blend before. Some frosted pretzels there. Bring on the Miller time. Cocktail nut mix from Green Resources. Very good indeed. I think there's a pie in the fridge also, and these snacks are from around the world, like cheese puffs, potato chips, etc. A veritable Christmas paradise junk food city. Cold weather can kill a diehard. Can kill a jump pack too. Hello everyone, I'm Big Al Cox. Welcome to the shop where we try hard to save things from the landfill and save money. Merry Christmas 2025 everyone. I've been busy the past few days getting the home place ready for Christmas. I usually put out some lights. And there's a nativity scene I put out every year. The whole family comes for a good dinner and we exchange gifts. It's a lot of work for us this time of year with Thanksgiving and Christmas. Cleaning up, dragging out all the stored Christmas items, cooking, shopping, etc. And of course something is going to be broke or not work, so that adds to it all. These figures are 70s blow molds, manufactured by a company called Empire. One of my favorite things to see around here at Christmas time. They are illuminated figures with large figures having the regular light bulbs under 25 watts or the LED bulbs I'm using now. These allow me to make them brighter without the heat of a standard bulb. The manger is just made of an old fallen barn that was here on the property, just kind of a crude slap together thing with bolts. Normally I take the bulbs out of these things before I store them every year. The LED regular sized bulbs are good from last year, but the smaller figures have these candelabra bulbs, or E-12 is another notation for them. Nightlight bulbs, I call them. These burn out all the time and are fairly delicate. I put rocks in these small figures to weigh them down to keep the wind from blowing them over, but they still do, and the rocks will take out the bulb sometimes. These figures are, like I say, from the 70s, and now every year I'm running into problems with sockets getting old and shorting out and failing fuses and the sort. Now usually I go to put the bulb in the donkey and it pops, but this year the jackass cooperated and the lamb decided that even if you put a new bulb in it, it don't want to work. I was inspecting this socket, and what has happened here is a shortage. The contacts in the bulb socket are loose and the leads are contacting each other. I'd say repairing this socket may be difficult at best and a likely failure. So I have obtained this one. Now they didn't have any of these where I got this one without a switch. And this being used outdoors, I have to question as to whether this roll switch would actually last very long in the elements. So I think I'll take this switch out of the equation before I install the new socket and the bulb. I'm going to cut the wires a few inches on either side of this line lamp switch. I'll save that as a free replacement the next time I need one for a lamp or a lighted decoration. Next, I'll strip the wires and get them ready to be soldered. Cut a few heat shrink pieces here and slide those on. With that done, I can twist my connection and then I'll solder it securely. Then I can do the same for the other wire. Now I can slide my heat shrink over the connections and prepare those. When I like something, I tell people about it. I love my Zippo lighters. Only thing is, I never carried them around because they'll leak in your pockets. When that happens to me, my skin generally hates that. But I can carry my Zippo lighters now without that worry because they make a butane insert for these now. Most butane lighters are candidates to ride the trash truck in short order, but this one's been different. It's actually manufactured by Zippo, and I've been using this insert for about 6 months now, and it seems to work as good as the day I got it. Now, I did go to my local tobacco store and get a good quality filtered butane fuel. The igniter is still a flint, so you have to put one of those in when it wears down. I think I've been through about 3 of them since I've had this one. It has a good flame, seems to be good and dependable. It's an alternative to a lighter fluid insert. Now, one thing about a Zippo is it will light in the wind with the original insert. This one not quite so much, but it does okay. If you're going camping, you may want to take the original version. Just don't carry it in your pocket. That looks good to me. Alright, with that done, I'm going to just wrap some electrical tape around that. Ready to install the new bulb assembly in our lamp here. I'll connect it. Awesome, works great. These clip and hold with a spring action. It should pop right in. Great. You can probably find these on eBay with no switch, but I kind of look at this as a free replacement switch. I have this decoration here, which is a light pole, like a Merry Christmas sign thing that I put out in the yard. Sort of an appreciation thing from Toys to Tots. I think it's cool. Even with a new bulb, it don't want to light up. I went to test it with my meter and I discovered my meter stopped working. I know what it is. I've ordered some parts for this meter, so I want to get it back in working order, especially since this has been my go-to meter forever. This is the 22-220 Micronta multimeter, a great classic I've owned since 1990. The Micronta 22-220 multimeter was sold at Radio Shack stores in the 90s. This is the cover of the 1990 Radio Shack catalog. This is the meter for sale in the catalog. I think I got mine on sale actually for about $10 off. Considering the number of things I've broken and torn up or just plain wore out over the years, I think this meter has been a real trooper. Me and this device have certainly logged some miles. I do have an old Radio Shack digital pocket meter I use from time to time, but this meter is certainly my preferred tester. I like the easy to read display. It's huge actually, huge I tell you. Myself, I prefer the analog display, and this meter has the FET or field effect transistor. Now I know it's nothing fancy and just reads voltage, DC current and resistance, but at this stage in my life it's really all I need now. Access to the battery is a compartment behind this lid. Turn the slot screw counterclockwise. That will allow the lid to be removed. This unit takes a 9-volt battery as a power supply. The last time I changed the battery, my connector broke, so I had to do some hillbilly engineering to make that work in the moment. This also uses a C battery, and I've previously blown a fuse testing in the wrong mode, and I had no large 1-amp barrel fuses, so I had to hillbilly engineer something to get by using a small barrel fuse. But it's a 1-amp. It is correct, just not the right form factor. Get this battery out. You may be able to see here how I had the wire stuffed in there to make it work temporarily. I'm going to cut the wire still connected here. Baked. $325 for 35 years. These are replacement connectors. I figured I'd order some extras since I have a few other older things that use these. Pack of 5 was around $8. There's not a lot of wire to work with coming out of the meter, and stripping wire that small never works for me. So I just burn some of the insulation off the end and then clean it up. Now I will tin all these wire ends in preparation to join them together. I can solder the wires together now. I'm going to wrap some black tape around these connections. Okay, the new connector is installed. Now I can address the fuse. This requires a 1-amp fuse. When I blew the last one, I did not have any of the large 1-amp glass fuses, so I hillbilly engineered a small 1-amp fuse with the metal ends of the bigger fuse to make it fit in there. It works, but this meter deserves the right stuff. Do what you have to in the moment sometimes. My first car was a 73 Pontiac Catalina, and I can remember having to change out various amperages of these fuses. Now they are thin plastic blades that are awkward to pull out and test. New fuse will pop in the holder. Cool thing is, next time I'll have a spare in this convenient holder here. Now I'll get the battery back in there now that I have the new connector installed. The power button on this meter has a battery check. With that showing voltage, I know the meter has power now. This C battery is used by the meter as a power source to check resistance. I'll install the probes and make sure that is working properly before I reinstall the service lid. Music to my ears. Looking good, everything seems to be in working order. I'll get the service lid back on there now, and this meter will be ready for another 30 years of action. I was wondering, thinking of planting these in a flower pot to see if they would grow. I'm going to take an AC measurement of this power cord here to test the meter out. Oh yeah. I'll go to the 300 volt range here. Works great. That's the deal, O'Neill. Johnson JJ Cruz. That's repairing a connector and fuse on a 1990 Radio Shack Micronta analog meter. Let me know in the comments section there if you have one of these great classics. With my meter repaired, I can now take a look at why this E-12 socket won't light a bulb. I know I have a good bulb here, yet when I apply power it does not light the bulb. I'm going to remove that bulb and inspect the contacts. If they look burnt and worn, then I'll have to replace this socket. May be hard to find something to replace this one. I'd probably have to fabricate something. The contacts in this one actually look really decent. This has a plug with a fuse built into it. I'm starting to suspect that fuse may be open. I'm going to screw the bulb back in before it rolls off the table and busts on the floor. To get to this fuse, I take a flat screwdriver and push out this slide. Normally one side of the line is fused, and they have the heart to give you a spare fuse, as in this case. Testing across the line fuse, it is indeed open. Testing the spare, this fuse is good. Yep. Okay, I got the spare fuse stuck in there. I'll close the lid back up, and we'll see if our bulb works. We'll connect that to an outlet and see what happens. Alright, it works. Okay, seems to be working great. Recapping, I have replaced a defective E-12 bulb holder with a new socket in this Empire blow mold. Also repaired my 1990 Radio Shack Micronta multi-tester with a new 9-volt battery connector. And I replaced the fuse in this Toys for Tots Christmas piece. I think I've fixed all the broken stuff in the decorations this year, not too bad. All the lights are up and working. Camera probably doesn't show it up that well, but the Merry Christmas light sign is in its place and working. And the lamp is of course back in its place and all lit up. And I think all the bulbs are working in the nativity scene, hopefully for the rest of the month. I am Big Al Cox. Thanks for watching. I will have more videos coming in the new year saving power equipment and various household items from the landfill. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks to all who subscribe to the channel. Thanks to all who watch the videos. I wish you a Merry Christmas 2025 and a blessed New Year 2026 from my shop to yours.